Hello and thanks for checking out ChartGuys.com. We're proud to be one of the most successful technical analysis communities online, teaching you the skills to become a more confident, effective, and informed trader. Join our community of hundreds of analysts worldwide working together to learn the charts, generate profit, and achieve financial independence. For access to daily live chart analysis and market coverage, a thriving chat community, along with dozens of hours of exclusive educational materials. We look forward to seeing you. Let's check out some charts. Hey everyone, checking back in, and I'm only going to be looking at WEED again. I'm going to share my thoughts and my game plan, and I'm not going to do the other ones because by the time I get to these videos, I've been talking about Canadian MJ for hours. I've been typing about Canadian MJ for hours, and I'm pretty over it by the time we're at the evening. But we had a very big bull bounce day. Awesome day for the bulls. It worked out perfectly in terms of the plan and what we were looking for. It was just a little bit tricky with yesterday not giving us the easy entry, but making us stronger, giving us the entry today, and we got the follow through. And the volume was very notable today. So yesterday, when I pointed out the 15-minute time frame that did not play out and we dropped to a lower low, and that looked to me like institutional selling, well, we got the data from our lovely members who share with us, and they showed that, I forget who it was specifically, one of the Canadian institutions dropped $40 million and sold every share that they had. So it was clearly overextended to the downside. There is such a thing as normal market conditions, and they're the patterns that I see on all these different time frames thousands of times a month, and these weren't happening because of the extra dollar volume that was being dumped. The volume that we saw today on this bounce, that tells me institutions are loading again, and I absolutely expect to see some upticks in those numbers, and it's definitely a significant move that has us looking for at least a little bit of short-term follow-through. So very pleasant surprise. We did come down and hold the low of the day first thing, but we bounced and then broke it. And again, the correlation to the S&P 500. So a lot of people look and say, well, the S&P 500 is down or up 0.7% and we're up 10%. How is there a correlation? That's too macro of a scale. So what happens with correlations is volume dictates the strength of correlations. When there is low volume, that's when the algos and the bots are more in control and they're connected. And that's when correlations are stronger. When volume in either the Canadian MJ sector or in the S&P 500 becomes unusual, either reacting to a news event or reacting to hype or whatever, that's when the correlations break. So when there's low volume, the correlations are stronger. Keep that in mind. And we saw that this morning where on the 5-minute time frame for WEED, we had a great bounce to start the day, made very comfortable. I had orders, like I said in yesterday's video, I want to buy in my IRA, I want to buy in the TCG account, letting friends know to be looking out for an entry. So I had orders fill first thing in the morning, then I had orders staggered lower that didn't fill, and then I did a market order when I saw the bulls start to show up after the double bottom low of the day held. Then to be protective, I scaled out some profits, still had a core position, and when we hit the new low of the day, I said, oh man, here we go again, and I wasn't going to get rid of my core position because the hourly and the 15-minute and all these RSI levels were still oversold at that point. But the reason that we came back and dropped down to that lower low, in my opinion, had a lot to do with SPY weakness. So SPY was a chop fest to start the morning, and then it gained its trend, and it was very clearly a bull trend into the end of the day. So the daily candlestick on SPY, you know, the last 4 days we had the big gap down, a lot of weakness, now our first bounce day. And WEED on the daily, while it's definitely been a bit different, you know, big pullback, here's our bounce day, and the bounce favored the Canadian MJ bulls compared to the S&P 500 because there were more people looking to buy that dip. Shorts were covering. Everybody that was going to sell sold on the bear news reaction to the financials. And it was just the setup we were looking for. So nice follow through. I traded it like a madman again all day. Sold a bunch of position on the way up. Did end up taking a short or two. Very, very small plays and very protective on those shorts. But I did end up swinging a play, and let's go over that. At the end of the day, I said, all right, I'm going to be looking for some consolidation for an entry, and I'm going to hope that we close strong at the end of the day because everything was showing me the odds favored a strong close. The first day of the bounce, coming off of oversold RSI levels, and most notably the volume behind the move. So this consolidation right here, we started pulling back, and initially I put my, and I'll say the same analogy that I shared live. Initially, I put my buy order right here, and I just missed filling. And I was planning on filling at 39. I mean, these numbers aren't lining up because I was playing CGC. But I was planning on being filled about a penny or two under here. I just missed that fill, and I would have filled a second one for the same size, another 10 to 15 cents down. And as soon as we bounced, I pulled those orders. And the reason for that is my orders and what I was looking for was because of the extreme nature of the pullback. I looked at the 15-minute time frame and I said, we're just looking for a higher low here, and that would potentially recharge the bulls for the end of the day. And I made an analogy at the end of the day where imagine it's a bull or a bear running in a straight line or whatever, and it gets tired. So it can only sprint in one direction so fast. Meanwhile, if we're making legs down, we're having breathers. So if we bounce a little bit and then cool off, that's like the bull taking a drink of water, stopping, taking a breath, and then it can go further. But when you're sprinting, you can't go as far. So as soon as we started to bounce, I said, oh, the bears are taking a breather, and we could very easily see another leg down. So I pulled my orders. I dropped it down about 15 cents lower, ended up getting a good fill down here for one of my orders. And that's why you don't look at bad things on your computer that you record on. And we had a clear entry. And then from there, once this bounce started, I said, all right, I'm setting my stop loss at break even. Let's see if the bulls can close strong at the end of the day. So I did end up swinging a position. My game plan into tomorrow is going to be to take some profit and be protected because we are overextended. The 4-hour time frame is going to have to consolidate and form a higher low. And we look at the hourly chart, and it hardly consolidated as well. We have one level of 39.23, very brief consolidation, but it's the same analogy where if we're sprinting in one direction, we're going to get tired, and we have to take that little breather and take that breath to get that balance back between the bulls and the bears. So that's what I'm looking for tomorrow, a strong start in the morning, and I'm probably going to be looking, after I sell my profit on the swing, hopefully profit, don't want to jinx it, but I will probably look for a bearish entry for healthy hourly consolidation. Volume is going to be key. We have to see green days, solid bull volume, and a strong close for confirmation. Otherwise, we will likely see a consolidation day and a little pullback and a higher low have to establish. Could still see a decent day, but consolidation more so than we saw today. Watch the S&P 500. I do not believe we would have been anywhere near 10 or 11% today if we had a red day in the S&P 500. Maybe it would have been more like 4 or 5. Who knows? That's just a guess, but without a doubt, there is an impact. So if we are bearish on the S&P 500 tomorrow, I'm going to probably be looking bearish, and the amount of correlation that is picking up, in my opinion, due to the dual listing of CGC and Cron in the US space, I'm now going to be using what the S&P is doing in terms of which direction I'm going to be looking to play this space to a certain degree. Again, volume can certainly change things. So that's where we stand as we head into tomorrow. Best of luck. Hope you all made some gains. I got some awesome messages from a lot of people that were first-time Canadian MJ traders coming over from the crypto space. I've been banging on the Canadian MJ drum for a year now for the crypto people, and a ton of them have moved over, and that's great to expand their horizons and be able to play multiple markets. So we'll see you soon.